The password is Jimenez.
Today, we are going to explore the world of cigars at one of the most prestigious cigar bars in New Jersey. We are going to learn the art of making the perfect cigar, as well as how to properly enjoy one. All of that and more coming up on All Things Newark. For 120 years, the Jimenez family has been steeped in tradition. Nelda Pogo Jimenez learned the art of cigar making at an early age. In 1968, they fled Cuba to start a better life and brought their expertise of cigar making to Newark, New Jersey. To this day, Nelda is still blending tobacco and carrying on the family tradition. When I say freedom flights, what comes to mind when I say that?
Well, the freedom flights was back in 1967 when our family was in Cuba, and we had family in the United States. Basically, it was a repressed government, and you had no freedom of choice, freedom of religion, and so the Catholic Charities and the Red Cross formed freedom flights from 1965 to 1972, where 220,000 Cubans
220,000
Cubans.
That's a lot of people.
Yes. Found freedom in the United States.
Okay. Do you remember what it was like when you had to leave Cuba? Do you recall?
Well, faintly. I was
a long time ago.
Long time ago in a land far away. It was very repressive. What do you call it? Well, we didn't think like the government thought, and so they wouldn't give your family work. No freedom of religion and no freedom of expression.
Okay.
So we put our visas in. Family had to sponsor us in the United States.
Okay.
It took some vetting, and then when the final day was there, we were free to go. The government would come to your house. They would take an inventory of everything you had.
Wow. Okay.
Escort you outside.
Right.
Seal your house in front of you.
Okay.
And then you have wedding bands, pictures. Yes. Well, that belongs to the government. Thank you.
They took your personal belongings.
Well, that and what do you call it? Memories.
Right.
It's a wedding band. It's family pictures, baby
All
pictures.
of that, you couldn't leave with anything.
You couldn't leave.
But
Just
the clothes on
the
your
clothes
back.
on your back.
Wow.
And soon after that, we were taken to the airport. And goodbye. They call it gusanos.
Gusanos.
Worms.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. And then you came here.
Well, we had family living in Newark.
Okay.
My father's brother and his two brothers, right? And we relocated here. There was a large Cuban excommunicated population. And we continue our lives here in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, you were not a part of that because
No.
you were born
Yes,
here.
I came later. I was born here in the United States. Here in Newark, New Jersey, St. James.
Okay.
St. James Hospital.
St. James Hospital.
Yes, correct.
So
Which is no longer there.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So now tell me about the cigar business. And didn't your mother make a cigar specifically regarding the freedom flights?
Correct, that's correct. I mean, I recall my mother in the summer, she goes out in our courtyard on a Sunday, and that's her day. She was out there every week, because on Sundays we come, take care of inventory for, we load everything up, check everything, prep the things, alone,
Okay.
when you take your time. And every Sunday she was out there with this barrel of tobacco and doing blends. It was over a period of a few weeks going
Right.
on.
And you want to know what's going on.
Yeah, and then she calls me and she says, "Ricardo, come here." And I came outside. She goes, "Try this." And I said, "Okay, I tried it." She goes, "Oh, wow, this is great." She goes, "This is it." And I said, "What is this?" I said, "What have you been doing this whole time?" She goes, she goes, "In August is 50 years." And she goes, "I want to release this blend." And so we put it together at an event in a short period of time, though.
Correct.
She waited, till she had the perfect thing. This
The
was going
perfect
over,
blend.
Yeah, and this was going over a few summers. It wasn't just
Right.
that summer.
Uh-huh.
It was over a few
So
summers.
she was cultivating.
Yeah, and she was.
Just-
She had this tobacco that she was aging, and there was one that was in a barrel. I think she had purchased it when it was like 6 years age, and then she aged it another 12, so it has 18 years.
Wow.
It's limited, too.
18
Yeah, limited.
years.
She made about 1,000 or 1,200 cigars, and that was it.
So limited release.
Yes.
Limited.
And people can still buy that today if they would like to?
There's a few left. Yes,
There's a
still
few.
There's a few left.
Okay, and we're going to take a look at that cigar in just a moment.
So right now, what you're catching, seeing here is David. This is David, and that's Richard.
Hello.
The master cigar rollers. They've been doing this since they're children. And they're here every day with my mom.
Okay.
My mom's a master blender. She creates the flavor, the facets when you're smoking, and which just changes through. Blending is one of the most important.
Right.
Of course, is the flavor, and of course, the art of rolling it is major. All the components are all very important, because if you have a great blend and a bad roll, it's bad cigar. David right here, he's putting the wrapper. He's doing the final part. You see him putting the wrapper on top of the cigar. And Richard here right now he's doing the filler. So what they're doing, they take the leaves, he breaks them up. In tradition, he puts them in a binder,
Okay.
right? And he rolls that and he puts it into a mold. As you see there, the mold, and he does. So the mold, these molds hold 12 cigars. So he'll roll 12. They put the top on it, and he'll do that for about 10 tablets. Yeah, 10 tablets. So it's 120 cigars. That's what we roll. Each roll is only allowed to roll 120
A day?
a day.
Okay.
Here in Cuba, they can roll about 150. Dominican Republic does anywhere between 150 and 200. My mother only allows them to roll 120, so it's always perfection. And also, your hands get tired.
Right.
So then
that's why only 120.
120. That's what she
Okay.
allows.
Okay.
So we have a perfect roll all the time, and their hands are not strained, and they're ready for the next day. And rested.
Okay.
So here, when Richard does that, he fills with the 12. He does 10, which is 120. Then he puts them here in the press, and then he presses them for 20 minutes. And then he takes them out. He turns each cigar, and they press it for another 20 minutes. And he takes them, and you see it in the mold.
Uh-huh.
So then David here, he's taking them out of the mold. He's putting the final wrapper here. Where he's doing United States Connecticut shade, which is our mild wrapper, and our mild cigar, a Robusto number 5. As you see here, he's did a 60 gauge that's San Andres, Mexico wrapper on there. He has the torpedoes, and again here you go is the Robusto.
So are they from Cuba also?
Richard's
they
Dominican.
born here?
No, Richard's from Dominican Republic, and also is David's from Dominican.
Okay.
But they've rolled since their children been rolling in the Cuban tradition, and
Okay.
that's why my
Now,
mother.
what makes it the Cuban tradition?
Well, of course, Cuba has the nostalgia
Right.
of having the best cigars in the world, and which is because of the soil.
The soil, okay.
Correct. So you have some great tobacco there that grows, and of course, there's great tobacco all over the world: Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Indonesia. All over the world. Colombia has some tobaccos, Peru,
Right.
and Ecuador. And so Cuba, of course, has the nostalgia, and always the beginning of rolling, which started in the beginning of time when everything was hand rolled completely, but there was no molds at all. And they would roll it, and then take it in paper and roll it and hold it, and that would be the mold.
Oh my
And let them
gosh.
sit, and then later pass it on.
Okay.
And then the tradition is so it's perfectly broken and layered, so it doesn't get stopped up. You don't get a plugged cigar.
Right.
See the safe?
That's the
That's
secrets
where
in
the
there.
secrets are there.
Okay.
And my mother's blends are kept there. And every cigar manufacturer has their specific blends, which they hold tight to the vest.
Right.
They give you the countries and maybe some of the specific regions, but not everything. Most of our cigars are 5 blended, and you'll know 4, but there's always one tobacco that
Oh, this
my
is
mother
secret.
keeps.
Okay,
to the
so that's
vest.
smart. That's smart.
And it's well guarded. It's well guarded.
Yes. Okay.
And the blending, of course, a woman's palate is more sensitive. Just like in Cuba, most of the cigar rollers are women.
Oh, they
Because their
are.
hands are very
Okay.
delicate,
Uh-huh.
nicer to roll. They feel more than men, but there's more women cigar rollers in Cuba than there are men.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
So
very interesting.
my mom's palate is very flavorful. She's not. We have a full body cigar, our Maduro right here, as you can see. But it's not. This doesn't have this one right here. This cigar is not a spicy blend, but a full flavor, which is very nice and very nice to the palate, and it's not going to scratch your, your throat in the morning. Or Right. We do have blends that are more on the spicier side, which you have a little something for everyone. But on my mother's palate, everything is smooth and creamy. Always
and creamy.
at the end of the finish, yes.
Okay, all right.
I think that's why so many people enjoy, and so many beginners can enjoy. You want to give them something so they don't. It's too much. It's like wine, It's something you start with a Merlot, and then you start moving up, and then before you know it, you're into Cabernets, and then. So to say, I kind of relate to the same concept, so people can understand. And then you want to gradually move up. But my mother has such great blends, and such creamy and such great taste that you can start almost anywhere with her cigar blend.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But
So it's not like a particular path you should go. You can just start anywhere.
You can start anywhere, but it's like I said, with the red wine, you start a Merlot, a Pinot Noir. You move up, and then after you only want Cab because you want a lot of flavor.
Right. Okay.
And it's the same thing. And if someone comes in, I'm going to give them the Connecticut. That's where we're going to start.
Okay. With the Connecticut.
And you asked earlier, what was our most seller or
bestseller?
there is none. There is none. No, there is. I don't believe there is. I wouldn't tell you. If there's someone new that never smoked, and I say, well, what do you like to smoke? Or then that's where I will drive them. If you're a beginner here, some people tell you, well, I like a nice, little bit of a spicy bite. We have a beautiful Nicaraguan wrapper that has a nice little spice, so you can give them that with a nice blend flavor. I'll show you the wrapper later.
Okay.
And it's great. And you want to try that. Someone says, oh, I like a full body, but not too spicy that I know what to give them. I like a very strong full body. So then we have our Espirito or our Robusto Connecticut, which has that punch they're looking for. And the tobaccos here that my mother works with every day. And some of the countries here. Where's this from?
Nicaragua.
This is a Nicaraguan filler. Smell it. It's strong but sweet.
Yeah.
Right? If you take a hefty, you'll taste the strong, the spice.
I smell it.
It's from Nicaragua. That's a filler. So you have the filler.
That's a filler.
That's the filler. You have a binder, which Richard has here, that goes and holds everything together before you put it. So he's got the filler in there, and that binder's from Ecuador.
Okay.
And that has a nice.
So you purchase all of the tobaccos from all over the world?
All over the world. My mother purchases everything from all over the world, and she sits down and puts things together. And of course, when she tries she wants to do something new, she calls the distributors and says, hey, can you send me something new from a different region? And then she sits down on her own by herself on a Sunday when no one's here and puts together her blends and something new. And so when she finds something, she says, here you go. And then she'll start a whole new, a new blend, a new line. Or she also likes to introduce stuff at limited. Sometimes you don't want to oversaturate everything. We are a boutique cigar, so you want to keep everyone interested and keep changing. And of course we have our staples. These are our staples right here. This will always be here in our lines, and then we add stuff. And then I'll show you in the case out there some limited stuff and things that come in for a while, and then she'll let them go for a while and bring them back.
Now, is there an aging process with the cigars here? Do they just go right on the shelf, or do you?
No, I like to age them for 60 days.
Okay.
There's some tobacco that we have some cigars that we knew, like the Avion. I'll show you later. That my mother aged tobacco for many years before she brought that out, and then once the cigars were made, they were aged for almost 6 months before we brought them. And every company and everyone has different process, and we do have cigars that are aged even longer. But again, we're a small family boutique, so a lot of stuff goes from here 60 days and to the case to the public.
Okay, so Ricardo, tell me about El Avion.
So, like I was saying, my mother put this blend together over years, and like I said, we watched the barrel, and she smoked, and she gave it to me when we were in the courtyard, and I was like, wow, this is great. So I sat down and smoked, and she was just smoking, and it was so serene and relaxed in the courtyard. And I said, well, what are you going to call it? And she said, El Avion, which means the plane.
The plane.
Which means, the freedom flights and the time. Her coming to freedom. She goes, this is the way I felt on this plane.
Oh.
That's what she told me. She goes, this is the way I felt on this plane, smoking this cigar. in this courtyard, so serene, so peaceful, and you
That's
see it in
beautiful.
her eyes. You see
That's
it in her
beautiful.
eyes. It is beautiful, you know, and it's something that we do. You know, our mother's the matriarch of this,
Right.
you know, family and this institution here, and
Right.
she, you know, we follow her.
We cannot have the show without talking about your mother,
Correct.
which is so impressive that she's the only female master blender
In the United
in
States.
the United States.
Correct.
Oh my gosh, and right here in Newark, New
New
Jersey,
Jersey.
that's history.
And like I said, I was born here. They came here. You know, everything I see is, you know, they tell me a little bit. You know, they don't tell us. You know, back then they
Right.
don't tell the children too much.
Exactly.
But you know, you've seen the pain and suffering, and you felt it. But you seen that my mother never stopped. She forward and
Right.
to build the family, to, you know, better future for all of us. Yeah, and you know, yeah, I love her very much and very impressed. She's my idol, you know,
Yes.
100%.
Yes, and she made the family into what it is now with the cigar business because
Correct.
she did that when she was in Cuba.
Correct. The family business started in Cuba, and she tells me stories as a child, and she used to work the tobacco, and she had cousins, like, you know, I do the cigar band, help her, and she used to tell me about her cousins that do 200-300 cigars like nothing, you know,
Oh
all
my
day long,
gosh.
all day long, band. So I try to get it up there. We try, but I can't do it.
Okay.
Can't get it up that way.
So now, in terms of the Jimenez family, what is your expertise?
Well, my mother taught me to blend. I can roll cigars. I do roll cigars, but she had taught me to blend and to help take on her when she retires
Her
her
role.
reins
Okay.
of blending,
Uh-huh.
of being a blender.
Okay.
And everyone's palate is different, so it's almost, you know, impossible to emulate perfect. But
Right.
it comes on with its own little tastes that are different, which are subtle, but you can see the difference when I blend or if she blends.
Is there a difference between a man and a woman?
Well, a woman's palate, I'm sure, is a little different than rolling. Their touch, their palate, probably more. My mother's cigars are very soft and subtle, but full of flavor.
Okay.
You know, and it's a little tougher. More mine would be a little bit more spicier, a little more bolder. And like I said, she leaves me the recipe book though to keep her.
Oh, and that's in the safe, I'm sure.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get the hell of that until she passes it over.
Okay. Very
But that's how
nice.
we can emulate 100% hers
Okay.
forever.
So you are in position.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if somebody was interested in purchasing some cigars, some of your Jimenez brand cigars, what would they do?
They can come here to the store, right here on 31 Liberty Street, Newark. You can go online and look us up on our website, JimenezTobacco.com, and all our lines and brands. Facebook, visit us at Facebook, Instagram. You know, all the social media, everywhere that anyone wants to feel life, and you give it to everyone. Give it back to the community.
All right.
So, Ricardo, I understand this room that we're in now has special meaning to you.
Ultra special meaning. I grew up in this room as a child. This was my room.
This was your bedroom?
Yeah, correct. We used to be around the corner of the factory, and then when they built the arena, they needed to widen the road. Excuse me. And when they widened the road, they took my mom's factory. She came here temporarily,
Right.
but she started building and said, "We're staying here." So she came up and built the lounge, kicked me out, and that's it. So they put in beautiful, lovely Kate and a lovely bar, and I had to go.
In your bedroom.
Yeah, she adjusted. She adjusted. She had to adjust, and
All
she's
right.
used to doing that.
Okay. And it's a wonderful, wonderful space now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes. Now, to round out our experience, so we were downstairs, so we got our look at how you put together cigars, how you roll the cigars. We met with your mom, so that's great. So now part of that experience is having a cocktail. And with me right now is Kate.
Hi.
And Kate is going to show us some mastery here.
Yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to make an old fashioned, how we do our old fashioned.
Okay.
We start with everything is house made, all of our syrups and all of that. Everything is fresh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some whiskey.
Okay. So is this your specialty or do you have a specialty?
So this is what we would consider our signature cocktail. We get the most people ordering it. It's definitely our most popular. But it's also a classic, so it's kind of hard to
Right.
go wrong with that.
Okay.
And here I am. I'm just adding some bitters.
What's that?
This is brown sugar syrup, all house made. We make it fresh every week.
Every week.
Every
okay.
week. And that just really enhances the flavor in the bourbon.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Me too.
Now we only use block ice, and that keeps the cocktail from getting watered down and getting that kind of gross, watery taste. It keeps it nice and chilled, and really preserves the flavors.
Nice. So fresh fruit only.
Fresh fruit, and then we're gonna zest it. Give it that nice fragrance.
Now, why did you tap your wrist like that? What does that do?
So what that does is that just really wakes up all the oils in there and gives it a chance to really come through and give you that nice fragrance, because 80% of your taste is smell.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go in and just add some more bitters.
Oh, spritzer? Okay.
And there you go. You have an old fashioned.
Wonderful. Now, what if we smoke it? Can we smoke it?
Absolutely.
Let's smoke it.
This is our smoker. I'm using oak wood chips.
Okay.
Complements pretty much any bourbon.
Oh, wow. I hope you guys are getting this. This is amazing. Now, that looks awesome. Does that augment the drink in any way, or is it just part of presentation?
It's going to bring out all the smoky wood flavors that are naturally put into the whiskey by the barrel, and really just enhance any of the bitters and all that, and really bring it to light.
Okay. So how long have you been bartending? Because you sound exactly like you know what you're talking about.
I've been bartending for about 2 years now. I learned everything that I know with my special training here. They've really taken me in and treated me like family and given me great opportunities here.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And now, of course, Kate, I have to try your final product here.
Please, give it a try.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's good. That's good. Cheers, everyone. We're at Jimenez Speakeasy. That's what Peter likes to call it. And with me right now, I just kind of infringed on these gentlemen's bonding time together. But I just wanted to hear from them about their thoughts about Jimenez.
I came after work, received a text from my buddy Ruben, and we've been coming here for a long time. Well, I've been coming here for a long time.
Wow. So I've known the Pozo family for many years. I've been coming here for many years. I remember this place when it was just the retail shop downstairs. And then it began to change and grow when it was a BYOB place, and now with a liquor license. And so
I've been coming here maybe about 4 years now.
About 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. So did you guys come together? Are you friends or?
Well, the funny part about it is we all met here.
Oh, you did?
And due to the family atmosphere of this business, we kind of develop a bond with each other. So that's one of the things that stand out about this lounge is that, it forces you to have interaction and conversation with the people that sit next to you. And you develop a friendship and a close bond through cigars and through the family business.
you don't find this atmosphere everywhere, right? And so you go to other cigar lounges, have TVs and, pool tables and chessboards and people playing dominoes. Here, this is about the relationships you establish with other people. And so one thing that Peter and his family really focus on is the relationships you establish around cigars.
And the atmosphere, you got the antique furniture, it's very cozy, the whole aesthetic feel to the place, it makes you fall in love with it right away. So as soon as you walk through the door, you feel at home, yes.
I feel like this place offers a lot of camaraderie and a lot of brotherhood.
I will let you guys get back to your cigars and your drinking, but thank you so much for being on camera. We really appreciate it. Who knew that right here in Newark, New Jersey, we have the only female master blender in the United States? right here. There are so many hidden gems in Newark, New Jersey, and we are going to uncover them all. Whether you are a cigar enthusiast or a novice, Jimenez Cigars has something for everyone. This has been Karen Dinkins, and I'll see you next time on All Things Newark.